Welcome to another industry update. My name is Grant. You're watching 3D Musketeers. Let's get into it. Materialize reports first ever full year revenue decline in 2020 financial results. The first time in 30 years, they generated less revenue than they did the year before. Only $170 million. Oh, hold on. This must be their investors right now just wiping their tears with money. They only saw a 13% decline. Do you know how many small businesses lost everything? Lower revenue than the year before? Crimea River. Oh my gosh. What will they ever do with only $170 million of money? Probably continue going just fine. Interestingly, though, they are publicly traded. Let's see what that looked like. Oh, look, they're up 13% today. Yeah, you can see when that news came out, they were peaked at $77 value. We can see their stock did decline by, well, a peak of $80 all the way down to 30. Crimea River. It blows my mind that a company that in 30 years has never seen financial numbers lower than the year prior, it becomes a, honestly, longer than I care to go through article. You know, I get they've been around for 30 years. The COVID-19 pandemic did it. What are they going to do? How are they going to keep money flowing? It was a 13% revenue decline. Like, come on. That was despite seeing increased recurring sales in its software division, Photo by Materialize. What I'm hearing is they're doing fine. The revenue reported across three main segments, software, medical, and manufacturing. Although the company's manufacturing division remained its highest earner, accounting for 39% of the firm's total revenue, it is still declining during Q4 of 2020, falling from 21 million generated in Q4 of 2019 to 18 million. We saw that on their software, they saw a 16% dip in revenue, but they had a 40% increase in quarterly sales and a 3.5% jump in recurring revenue. They saw less software activity from 3D printing. So what are they saying? They're saying that they basically raised their prices. That's how their quarterly sales increased. Well, that's how their recurring revenue increased, because there was a jump in price. And they had a 40% increase in quarterly sales, but they still saw less software activity from the 3D printing base. So I'm guessing their 40% increase in quarterly sales came from some other software that Materialize handles. And here you go. I mean, look, they're being a publicly traded company. None of this information is private like it is for 3D Musketeers. I'm not going to give you this information because it's kind of sad. On that note, if you're looking to make awesome, you should reach out to us at 3dmusketeers.com. Links will be in the description down below. We want to help you. We're just having a hard time getting to you. If you haven't noticed, this might be the first time you're seeing us. And if it is, make sure to leave us a like, comment, subscribe, do all the things that help a channel like ours grow, because, well, the more that we grow, the more awesome we can make, and we don't end up being one of these style of articles later on down the road. As expected, Materialize is going to be branding toward the cloud like all software-based businesses are right there, because when you're in the cloud, this SaaS or software as a service becomes considerably easier to handle. If you're logging into the cloud to get your software every single day, looking at you, Adobe, looking at you, Autodesk, you can easily limit people, and it becomes very difficult for the individuals that sail the 7 seas to obtain your software via less than legal means. Because if you're doing constant checks, they have to override that constant check. And while it's not impossible, there's plenty of stuff out there if you know where to look, it is ultimately detrimental to these companies. So if you are a software pirate, shame on you unless they deserve it. And I'm not going to get into what it means if they actually deserve it. We're seeing changes from Materialize. This whole Ditto thing, I've seen it, I've used it, and I like it. I think it's pretty cool. But there are also other options out there, right? Like Zenni Optical. And if you're not getting your glasses from Zenni Optical, Zenni, look them up. And then hate yourself for being a part of a Luxottica oligopoly. Yes, oligopoly. We're not going to get into that. There's many people that have explained the Luxottica oligopoly and how you, too, can get glasses for cheap as borscht. Materialize is clearly looking at ways to generate more revenue. As a publicly traded company, if you lose even $1 versus what you had the year before, your stock is going to drop. If your system sees any decline, your stock is going to drop. And part of me feels for their investors because it's a 3D printing industry, right? They're in the 3D printing industry, and that means it's volatile sin. Seeing a decline that much, I mean, we saw how from $80, right? $80 down to $30. That's over a 50% decline in, let's see, this peak was February 9th. This one was March 8th. So 1 month, they saw a 50% decline in shares. I mean, look, it sucks, but that's what happens when you report that kind of thing. Now, this ain't financial advice, but if they were doing that well, they may not be a bad investment. Yeah, they were doing really, really well. They reported some losses. They dropped back down. That may not be a bad move, but I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. You should know that by now. I think there's green on the other side of the fence here for Materialize. I, quite frankly, think this article's, while it has some relevance, it's not that big of a deal. In spite of the firm's overall revenue decline, investors have chosen to focus on quarterly recovery, and the company shares rose over 24% at early morning trading. So this came out March 9th, 2 days ago. It's March 11th as I'm filming this. So March 9th, yeah, the shares did rise quite a bit. And they're continuing to go. Because, yeah, it's on sale. A company that has done historically well for 30 years is now on sale. Yeah, it's like when GME goes on sale for all you diamond hand mofos out there. Anyways, guys, this has been an industry update. Is it significant? Not really. But if you disagree, let us know in the comments below, but don't just tell me you disagree. Tell me why you think this is significant. I'd like to have a conversation, and this would be a really cool way to get other people involved in these videos too. So if you have an opinion about this and you want to talk about it in a video, let's do it. Let us know in the comments below. But as always, call your loved ones. Keep making awesome. My name's Grant. This is 3D Musketeers. Have a good one.